We are joined today by Tammy DeLue, also known as the Grouchy Marketing Lady.
I'm here, Grouchy, in the house. I'm really excited to have our guest on today.
Jim Fortin, who has helped more people than any other hypnotist performance expert in Dallas, in addition to being a master hypnotist with more than 15,000 hours of hypnosis and coaching experience. Welcome, Jim Fortin, to Living Wealthy Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the invitation today.
You're very, very welcome. Because I think living healthy, right?
Yes, living healthy. I mean, I work with the mind, and I've meditated since I was in college. I mean, my friends were out playing softball. I'd go meditate first and then go play softball.
Well, our show is called Living Wealthy Radio, and it's not just about money. It's about lifestyle, because you can have all the money in the world, but that doesn't mean you're going to have your health, right?
If you have no health, you're not wealthy at all.
You're not wealthy at all. So for those listeners that just heard you meditate and you're a hypnotist, and that may have turned them off, right? Because some people out there just really don't understand hypnosis. Can you bring it down to earth and take out the woo-woo part of it?
So many people are, really, they don't understand what it is or the value.
Ethical persuasion, I think, is the key here.
Let me add there, Tammy, and that is key to my program, is people have said, well, you know, Jim, if you teach people how to persuade and influence unconsciously, how ethical is that? Well, first I want to point out that everything in our world is persuasion and influence. I mean, Crest is doing it all day long. Whataburger is doing it. Coach, the Coach bags we're talking about, is doing it. Tylenol is doing it. Everyone is doing it because they want you to buy their product.
And putting it down to the context for our listening audience, it's not only prospects and clients, but, again, employees, employers, clients, parents, children, spouses.
When people leave my full-day training or they get the audio program, this is invariably what I hear from parents. People are fascinated by the material. Tammy said, I've been on her show 4 times. It's not me. It's the material, because people are fascinated about it. I'm one of only a handful of people in the entire country who teach unconscious persuasion and influence. As a matter of fact, if you Google it, I'm the only one who comes up, because nobody even talks about unconscious persuasion and influence. Yet if research has demonstrated, up to 95% of all buying decisions are unconsciously made.
Well, and we all persuade every single day, right? We're always trying to persuade people.
Day out.
Jim, you just have more effective techniques.
Tell us some. I want to hear a couple of things that an ordinary person can do, Jim, that could make their life a lot easier when it comes to persuading.
There's 2 aspects to this, and I'll keep this very, very quick. But the first aspect is foundational. Let's say that we're trying to persuade. I just got to give you real examples here so people on the call will understand. Let's say that we're in a sales appointment and we're trying to persuade the person across from us. Well, research has demonstrated there are 6 things that drive human behavior. One of the 6 is likability, meaning how much a person is like us, meaning similarity. That's why you see neighborhoods that aggregate with the same kind of people. You might have Chinatown, Little Italy, etc. So let's say in a business setting that you appear to be very different from the person that you're attempting to sell. They are unconsciously predisposed not to want to do business with you because you are not like them. So there are many unconscious aspects of things that either pull people in or push people away. And the second aspect that I teach are language patterns, things that you can say to people that plant suggestions. Teresa, let me give you an example first. Have you ever said, I'm not going to eat any more cake for a while. I'm going to go on a diet. You ever done that?
Sure.
Okay, and then what happens when you go to dinner, you're out to a nice dinner, and you see some cake at the next table over, or someone at the table has a nice, juicy-looking piece of cake? What do you start thinking?
I want that cake.
I want that cake. Then you get into an internal argument saying, I want the cake, but I'm not going to have it. I want that cake, but I'm not going to have it. Now, what happens the more that you talk about it to yourself?
The more I want the cake.
The more you want it, exactly. That's called compounding. It's the way that the brain works. So the more that we do things, the more that we want to do things. A very simple pattern. It's called a hypnotic language pattern. When I used to do hypnosis, I would say the more that you listen to the sound of my voice, the more relaxed you will become. Well, what's presupposed there in that phrase? The more that you listen to the sound of my voice, they're going to listen, right? Because they're there to listen to me. So I put in the first spot, the more you listen to the sound of my voice, the more relaxed you will become. That's a language pattern. The more that you blank, the more that you blank. So how could you use that in business? People could say, well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I have a way Teresa could use it. The more you hear about bank on yourself, the more you will realize what a great program it is.
Literally, exactly. The more you learn about what we do, the more you're going to want to learn even more. The more that you look at what we do, the more you're going to realize that we are the solution you've been looking for. The more you compare us to other authors, the more you're going to realize that we do have the answer.
But it's got to be something that your audience or your child or your spouse or your parent wants, right? If my son doesn't care about good grades, then he could care less whether he reads or takes notes, right?
Very good question there. Yes, but no one's going to be in a sales presentation or trying to persuade somebody to do something they don't want to do. I mean, your most unethical of salespeople may be attempting to do that, but your professional selling people, they're there, and the fact that they're there means that the person is already interested in what they have. The door's already open. Now we just need to go ahead and close the deal. When you want to get people into the right side of the brain, which is the side of the brain that buys, you simply say, instead of saying, Teresa, I can help you protect yourself, I could say, Teresa, just imagine that you are fully protected and in a safe place. When I say just imagine, you must shift cortically from left brain to right brain to do what I ask you to do, which is imagined. The unconscious mind does not know the difference between real and imagined, and the more that you have people imagine something, the more real it is to them. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Yes.
And that could be dating, too. You could use that as a dating line. Just imagine how great your life would be if you went out with me. Now,
or how much more secure you're going to be because I can't offer you, security. That one little phrase that I gave you, you could use in seduction. The more that you look at me, the more you look into my eyes, the more you're going to want to kiss me. So
great. We're giving them great, what a great information. I told you he was full of good information.
He's fantastic. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully the listeners are taking notes and starting to use this material. More than anything, dig in, start learning. I've taught this to thousands of people all the way from Wall Street to Main Street. My students have been to every program out there, and they will tell you this program is different.
It sounds like there's just so much information that you've got to share with our audience. And again, it's not just about selling. It's about persuading those in your life to do what's good for them.
To make your life easier.
Make your life easier and done ethically with integrity. Listeners?
Hey, Teresa, I just thought of something there real quickly. If you have a spouse that wants to do Bank on Yourself and one that doesn't, see, we could teach this to the spouse that's having trouble with the reluctant spouse.
That's right. And every now and then we do have a reluctant spouse. We love on them. And what you said earlier about the real estate professional, we love on our clients. We care, we give. It's about educating. Check us out at livingwealthyradio.com, where we do give free report, free CD, DVD, Pamela Yellen's best-selling book, Bank on Yourself. We have a whole library of books, actually, we share with our clients for free. We give because we know it's all about the education. The more educated you are
there you go.
About Bank on Yourself,
the better decisions you're going to make for you and your family.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Jim.
Beautiful.
Perfect way to end the show. God bless everyone out there. Have a fantastic Sunday.
Thanks, Teresa and Jim.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tammy,
Take
Jim.
care.
This is Teresa Kuhn.